Crazy woman. Right. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to be a little late. I'm just going to go downstairs and pick up my laundry, which should have finished 9 minutes ago, but they mistimed it, the bar stewards. So please excuse me. In the meantime, I'll leave the in-place stats feed up for you. Thank you very much, Stephen. If you could let any new members know, I'll just be a little late. I should be back by 3:05. So just excuse me for a second while I pick up the laundry from downstairs. Mistiming on my part, so my apologies. Right.
This market has been suspended.
Okay. I am back. Right, apologies. I'm going to have to sort the laundry out at half time. Okay. Right. Hope Stephen said you could see him here, and Mark and Kevin are here as well. My apologies. Just going to pick up some laundry from downstairs. I'm staying at the condo during the international break. Have a nice break from Hua Hin. So let me just get sorted out. Got already Bodo Glimt showing their worth this season. 2-0 up against Fredrikstad. That's what you're going to be expecting from Bodo Glimt in the Norwegian Elite Serien. They're going to be one of your ultra reliables, by which if it's 0-0 at half time, they tend to pick up the goal. If they've conceded first, they tend to equalise. Bodo Glimt is the name. 0-2 lead against Fredrikstad. So let me just take that off. So hello to everybody. Let's get cracking. So Danish Super League, Copenhagen, Brøndby, bit too tough for me to call. Young Boys really should have got a result against Iverdon, newly promoted Iverdon. You could lay the draw now if you wanted at 1.07. But it looks like an off day for the Young Boys post-international break. As I alluded to, Bodo Glimt side to stick in your notebook, that is for sure. Cork City have scored first against Wexford. Got the Irish Premier Division, which is just early on in the season, so it's a bit tough to be confident. Let me just get Soccer 24 up, which is another key to trading, to getting our trading angles. So let's pick up the odds-on favourites. 1.95 St Pat's, Waterford and Galway. I'm picking up odds-on favourites here, anything under 2.00 decimal odds. And as you can see, well, Cork were actual favourites today, so that's interesting. I didn't expect them to be favourite, but it's far too early in the season for us to be confident in results, apart from Bologna-Salernitana, of course. Salernitana way down the pecking order and likely to be relegated. I'm sure Roma would just pass muster. They were odds-on favourite earlier on. Under Daniele De Rossi, this is a very solid Roma side with 2+ goals in them very regularly. So I can't really see a slip-up today from Roma, but I'm open to surprises, of course. Emmen and Groningen, 1.8 favourite. Well, 0-3 lead, that's absolutely emphatic. I wonder if Roda can do the same in the Eredivisie at 7 o'clock. I'll probably be asleep by then. It's I think it's 6 hours now, so I get an hour back, which is great. Villarreal and Atletico Madrid. It's very strange to see Atletico Madrid's odds drifting out to 2.2. They did look on paper to have this one in the bag, but you've got to respect the market. The Allsvenskan, brand new season already. One of the odds-on favourites has been absolutely emphatic in Sirius. AIK, Elfsberg were one of only 2 teams, I believe, last season to break the 60-point barrier. I think the other was Malmo. So they could be worth following this season. The Elf. Orebro, well, that's already finished. Odds-on favourite, goal down, but red cards don't help matters. And Braga already leading at 1.91. So we're all interested in English Championship, League 1 and League 2, of course. So I've got all of them waiting for the goals to come in. Morecambe has scored first against Barrow. Don't forget, just have to be a little wary now of all of these odds-on favourites losing to relegation-threatened sides, because these relegation-threatened sides are putting in some wonderful performances. They really are. And it's very, we're losing money, basically, trusting the likes of Barnsley and the likes of Peterborough at 1.25 odds to get out of jail. So we've got an odds-on result here. Tranmere and Colchester. Let's just have a quick look. Who's the odds-on favourite? Well, 1.67. Well, 2.6 the favourite, so it's not an odds-on favourite. I think the reason I got this starred is because Tranmere are one of those sides in desperate need for points. Well, one of these two are, at least. So let's work our way down. This is what we're after. So I've starred the relegation-threatened sides. I'm also going to star the odds-on favourites as well. So already a 0-2 lead for Verona, a 49th minute, which is not quite, if memory serves, what the market was expecting. West Brom favourites, as usual. Leeds as well a little bit later. And Sutton, one of the relegation threatened sides, have taken the lead against Swindon. Blackpool odds on. Bolton odds on. Barnsley need to get back after that unexpected loss to Cambridge. And there's Cambridge again. So I wouldn't discount Cambridge today, coming off the back of that 0-2 win against Barnsley. Much needed points-wise for them. Lincoln, odds on. Let's work our way down. Oxford United, odds on favourite, playing Fleetwood, who are in desperate need for points as well. Forest Green need points. Mansfield, well, that's been postponed. Lincoln have scored first against Carlisle United. Newport and Crawley, no, that's not of interest. Stockport County odds on. Sutton, as you can see, starred because they're in a relegation threatened place. Walsall and Salford. Salford a bit hit and miss. They did put together a really solid run under their new manager, but can have a bit of a wobble now and again, or be about as reliable as a Manchester United away performance. Let's look at some of the other matches, and then we'll take our first look at the in-play stats. Peterborough have opened up against Leyton Orient, which will calm the nerves after that 1-3 loss. Unexpected 1-3 loss a couple of days ago for Peterborough. And Huddersfield have scored first against Stoke, another side in desperate need of points, Huddersfield. And Bromley got a late winner against Copenhagen. Venezia and Reggiana, keep an eye on this late on. It's 2-2. 1.62 favourite at 2-2. So we might see a late goal there. Parma are 0-2 down. The only reason I'm interested in that, they're top of the league. But let's have a look at the goals. Both from open play. We'll have to look at the in-play stats to see if there's an angle here with Parma. The only reason I mentioned them in the Telegram earlier on, because they're top of the league, as I say. You're expecting more from them. So I want to make sure you can see and hear everything okay. Yeah, do please let me know if you can't in this chat facility here. That would be excellent. So we're working our way down to our odds-ons. Cremonese, Parma. I think that's about it. And this is a great way for you to create trading angles. That's what we're after. That's what we're after as traders. And there's our old pals, Bodo Glimt. Now, I could have laid the draw beginning of the second half, but it's the first match of the season. And if it ended 0-0, well, I could just say I've got nothing, no backbone to work off. No background of form to work off, because it's the opening day. But we've got Lillestrøm as odds on at home. We've got Mulder, our old pals Mulder. No need for Scully today. Rosenborg odds on as well, and Viking odds on. Some real familiar names, and they will be familiar names for you over the summer months. These are our summer leagues, so get to know them right from the beginning, even the Obosligen. Cambridge continue their excellent run in accumulating points. They're a goal up at Wigan. They'll be absolutely delighted. They go into the My Games facility here, and you'll see and hear a sound whenever there's a goal in an odds-on favourite match like this one. We can investigate then and then shortlist them for the in-play stats. 1.55 leading 1-0. That's not a surprise, is it? Cambridge, not newly, but relegation threatened, are leading in a match 2.55 the favourite. So the market's given them a chance. I wouldn't be laying against Cambridge after what they did away. I think it was Barnsley or was it Peterborough? We've got that really solid win. Barnsley 0-2. Look at the odds for Barnsley. This is something we have to work at today. Which one of these matches is going to be the surprise result? Even the bloke from Duran was getting involved there. The first own goal for Cambridge. And Hamdi making it 0-2 against 1.4 favourites. So we've got to be so careful today. Maybe if both teams to score, no. We'll cover that 0-2. It won't cover the 1-3 though. Forest Green have scored first against Crewe. Alexandra, normally Forest Green are gettable when leading. So let's capture some of our matches of interest now. Copenhagen Brøndby, we can get rid of that. Mighty Bodo Glimt, aside to stick in your notebook. You're probably going to make some decent money out of just following Bodo Glimt this season. Do you fancy Parma? 63 attacking pressure index. Yet another story of shots off target. We've had this over the last few days. It's been a real tester, hasn't it? Do you trust these sides with all of these shots off target? But if you are to take a side on, you would take them on 0-2 up. So let's just sort that out. So we'll get, so it's, that's better. That's the Feyenoord from yesterday. So we'll be looking at Parma, just to have a look at the odds. They are top of the league. That would be the only reason for me to have an interest there really today. They are at home as well. Are you happy with these kind of odds? If you were, then this is the kind of thing that I would do here to see if Parma will score the next goal. That's all we're really after, but 10 shots off target. It's at the 11s where hopefully you can get a decent return. I try to get them over 100 quid like this. Now if we can get a Parma goal, that will make it 1-2, but we need to get that goal pretty soonish to give the market the impression that Parma will go on and finish the job. And if the market gets that impression, those odds of 11.5 are going to disappear. Going to go down to about 5s or thereabouts, which is the odd swing that we're looking for. And of course, Catanzaro's odds are going to rise because they are no longer 2 goals to the advantage. So that would be a possible play there. I think the liability is a little too high. So for this particular match, I do like to try to keep it under 10 quid. Making the right noises, but it's all shots off target at the moment. So let's check some of the goals which have come in already. So we'll work our way down. Well, I thought Huddersfield did score. So I hope there's not any problems with the in-play guru today. I did see a Huddersfield goal. So let me just double check that. No, it looks like it's been scrubbed off. It did come up on Football 24. We can get rid of that. Oh, sorry. Get rid of that. That's the one. So hide. Hobro and Colding. Hide that. Keep an eye on Maitland. 3 shots off 4 corners. Look up for it today. 4-match winning run. Very decent odds relative to their early performance. So that will get on the watch list. Rotherham and Millwall. Got a feeling of a relegation 6-pointer about it, but with Rotherham, they've got to be got, haven't they? They are down. Millwall are still alive. So this should be banker material for Millwall today. Coming off the back of a loss on the TV. Look at Rotherham, they failed to score. So it really should be banker material for the Lions. So I would love a Rotherham opener here because I'll take that on with confidence. Sunderland and Blackburn, another relegation threatened side. So look out for these relegation threatened sides, just purely for this stage of the season, because you're going to get unexpected results. Look at this Plymouth. Desperate need for points. 1 shot on 3 or 5 corners. 11 dangerous attacks to 3 already. Coventry look very strong favourite today against Cardiff. Middlesbrough playing another relegation threatened side in the Owls, who can put together a decent performance. Middlesbrough over-reliant, I think, on that defence. A couple of draws now. And as you can see, over-reliant on that defence if you're not scoring that second goal, as they haven't done in the last 3 matches. Did get a good equaliser against the Saints recently, because that's a tough away fixture. Swansea and QPR, well, we'll keep an eye on that one. 18th QPR, desperate need for points for them. West Brom, good start against Watford. 2 shots on, 5 off and 3 corners. Birmingham, another one of those sides in relegation trouble. Look at Carlisle. We'll just keep an eye on this. You never know. Carlisle did beat Peterborough. If I've got the right C side. Let's have a look. I think they beat Peterborough recently, Carlisle, so you can't discount them from coming back here, despite what the market says. Peterborough were 1.25. 1.25. I think it was Carlisle. Yeah, look at this result here. 1-3. Mellish, hat-trick. So if he's on the pitch today, you might get something out of this. 1.25 pre-match. So I wouldn't necessarily be paying any attention to Lincoln's 1.65 odds. They have the lead. Got to see if Mellish is playing, of course. Hat-trick hero. Coming into this in a good bit of form. There he is. Midfielder on a hat-trick last match. So let's hope that Mellish is in a mood. We'll certainly be following this match given their exploits against Peterborough. And it's 1.2 is already layable for me, really. So we'll just give it a bit of a watching brief for a while. Parma are trying desperately to get that comeback. But again, as you know, shots on target are the key stats. Shots off and corners, it's all noise. 65 dangerous attacks as well. They're the dominant force here, but the clock is with Catanzaro at the moment. So these are the ones which catch the eye early on. We'll take another look through because there has been some goals in some other matches. Cambridge United, as you know, relegation threatened. 2.55 the favourite. We'll keep an eye on that one. Another big scalp for Cambridge United, similar to Carlisle the other day. So you can't dismiss these relegation threatened sides. Look at Leyton Orient, 5 shots off, 2 corners, 25 dangerous attacks. Peterborough did concede 3 goals, as you know, against Carlisle. So they might be vulnerable today, lacking a little bit of bite up front and on 2 consecutive defeats, something Darren Ferguson will not be liking at all. 0-1 defeat to Pompey and that 1-3 to Carlisle when they were 1.25 favourite. But prior to that, 3 to 5 goals. Looking at Leyton Orient, they do look a little lacklustre up front. So even if they do equalise, they might not pull off the win. They are lacking that firepower at the moment. Cheltenham and Exeter, we normally see goals in this match. We've got a Nordland opener against Midtjylland. That could be something to follow up on. Newport County, just keep an eye on them. 3 shots on, 2 off in the corner, 71 attacking pressure index. Some very tough matches to call in these lower tier leagues today, so we've got to be over-reliant on the in-play stats. Forest Green are normally gettable.
Midtjylland FC Nordsjælland is 0-1.
Normally gettable, so shall we do our usual with our old pals? Usually gettable, I say. They've pulled a couple of wins out of the fire, but Crewe's in-play stats looking okay. This is how I would approach it. Coventry has opened up against Cardiff, that's no surprise there. Lay over 1.5 goals, covers the Forest Green 0-1. Then that's your stake to use, which would be £40 minus commission. Have a look at the Crewe +1. If that's decent odds, I would stop there because that would cover the draw. And we are in one of the lower tier leagues that we can't really trust. 1.89 is pretty respectable for me. Your other option, if you really fancied Crewe, would be the match odds. So that would be a decent return minus lost insurance premium. Your alternate is either or with this. You either do the +1 or you do the match odds. with the match odds, you'll be backing the side that you fancy a goal down. With half stake, you'll be laying the side in the league because their odds will be lower because they're leading. So you're getting about an evens return on that lay of Forest Green. That's why the +1 was so good. And if we come out of this with a draw, you'll make about a £7 net loss. So that's based on the reputation for Forest Green. And indeed, it looks as if Crewe are putting together a good effort in order to get that equaliser. They desperately need points. They were at 1.73 pre-match. So I think this could be...
This market has been suspended.
Oh, it's suspended already. And it looks as if it's a shock result. It's a 0-2 for Forest Green. So I hope you didn't get on. That looks like, yes, indeed, it's 0-2 for Forest Green. So just got to check the goals there. They're normally gettable. Don't forget Newport County. I think Forest Green were leading 0-3 in that one. Or 0-2. Talking of Newport County 1-3-2. Backed them at 19th. So I'm glad I didn't pass this on to Telegram. Certainly going to be better value now. 1.37 and 10.5. So that's not too bad at all. Or has that goal been disallowed? I'm not sure. No, it hasn't.
Newport County Crawley Town is 0-2.
So let's have a look at that Forest Green second goal. Was it a penalty? Was it an own goal? No, it's Mr. Garrick again. So like that Mellish bloke the other day with his hat-trick, Garrick is well up for this. Pre-match odds, 1.73. You can see the live standings. Forest Green still bottom basement, but on 36 points if they can keep the win, which is vital because they're only a win away from getting out of the relegation zone. This is what I'm saying about taking on these relegation threatened sides. At this stage of the season, it doesn't look like it's worth doing, is it? We keep getting this 0-2, and both teams to score no, of course,
It has been suspended.
would have solved that problem. Is this 1-2 or is this 0-3? This could be 0-3. It's an absolute avalanche for Forest Green. Now it's time to take them on. Just for old time's sake, this is probably that Garrick hat-trick, I would suggest. So now is the time to take them on. Top up. Such an early lead, 27 minutes in.
Goal. Crewe Forest Green is 0-3.
This is exactly the problem we've been having since those Carlisle and Cambridge wins. It's these relegation threatened sides overperforming and us getting suckered in. So maybe in the future, just a spot of delaying might help matters. You can up your bank and hope that we get a reply from Crewe. Forest Green not renowned for their clean sheets. Just hope this market gets a little more liquid so we can get better odds about Crewe as well. Just top up. It's not going to cost you anything extra. 34. Realistically, not going to cost you anything extra, only a couple of quid more. But you're getting a far better return on Crewe. And what this will do, if you get the Crewe goal next, it's going to ensure that this red amount is greatly reduced. We could do with Crewe scoring before half time. That's probably the Garrick hat-trick. No, Robson. From Robson and Jerome getting the third goal there. So we've got to be so wary. Keep getting caught out with these relegation threatened sides pulling off master strokes and messing with the betting bank. But now is the time to get onto Telegram and tell Telegrammers that this is a good opportunity. I'm so glad I didn't pile into Telegram for that. So let's have a quick look. Crew 0, Forest Green 3. Forest Green are one of those relegation threatened sides that could pull off a masterstroke, but with 60 minutes to go against an odds-on favourite at home, Forest Green must be laid at 1.1, and a small back of Crew at 40s or higher. I only got 34, so you're getting a nice 40s. You could do with a goal before half-time for Crew, and then get that moving. Forest Green don't tend to keep clean sheets. Desperate need for points, of course, so they could pull it off, but this is an excellent entry point. The liability is very low, laying at these kind of odds and backing at such big odds as well. So delaying might be the way to do things. Don't just pile in, because we'll get undone like this. So just get Football 24 back up. Okay, so let's become Crew fans for the rest of this match. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. That's all you can ask for, really. But 3 consecutive defeats. Don't forget that Newport defeat, that emphatic Newport defeat when Forest Green were in the same position. So they have a precedent of cocking things up. So let's hope they're in that mood today. Sunderland, Blackburn again, another relegation threatened side taking the lead against Sunderland. Dare we take them on? It's the way to the poorhouse at the moment, taking on these relegation threatened sides who are leading. You want your Feyenoords, you know, the reliables. Looks like Middlesbrough are having a good go at the Owls, another relegation threatened side. Very strong odds on. Coventry have conceded, so that could be a lay the draw second half if the odds are correct. West Brom putting in a good run of it early on. 2 shots on, 5 off, 5 corners. Peterborough, good lead for them. Put to bed that loss to Carlisle earlier on in the week. Peterborough, this is far better. They'd have got a bit of earache from old Fergie Jr. after that previous match. They're putting in a good fist of it here, despite Leyton Orient, 25 dangerous attacks, putting in a good run themselves. Oxford United 2-0 up against Fleetwood Town. 3 draws and a loss for the relegation threatened side. Let's have a look at recent results. A couple of 0-0s, 1-1 and a 1-2. They did score more than 2 goals against Wigan, but they don't look competitive enough, do they, to take advantage or to have a go at this Oxford United side. Don't forget, desperate need for points, but not really done anything in this match just yet to warrant taking on Oxford. But they are layable at 1.04 if you fancied that, against a relegation threatened side like Reading are as well. But so they're playing a Bolton who've got one eye on automatic promotion places rather than the playoff. So they're going to be a tough nut to crack, this Bolton side. And that's the Verona equaliser. Sorry, Cagliari equaliser against Verona. Bolton and Reading, no. Stockport, Milton Keynes Dons, 4th against 16th. So again, if you see anything from Notts County to suggest an equaliser, might be worth taking on MK Dons. 16th in the league, Notts County in English League 2. Morecambe 10th against Barrow in 5th. 2.1 the favourite Barrow. So that's interesting. Not very, very strong favourites, but again, it's a very early lead for Morecambe, who have, note, conceded 3 goals or more in 4 of the last 5 matches. So might they be layable, old Eric, right now? Again, we'd like to keep our liability as low as possible for these speculative plays. So let's have a look at Morecambe. If it's 1.25, that's reasonable enough. Yeah, and 14.5, I think, given their precarious position, could be layable. And again, at 14.5, we're trying to get over 100 quid on Barrow, because that will give us a good leeway from a trading perspective. There we go. So it's just under a tenner liability. Of course, what we want from Barrow, the absolute ideal here from Barrow would be a goal before half time. That would really shake up this market completely. But it's great to play because the liability is low. We're with a Morecambe side who've conceded 3+ goals in 4 of the 5 recent matches. So this is yet another for Telegram. And this could be the way to play these matches early season, is to wait and look for this kind of a configuration where you can enter the market with very low liability. Now, another one at the live stream today, Morecambe against Barrow. Morecambe are leading 2-0 against Barrow. Barrow are 5th in the league. Morecambe in the relegation places. So yes, they could pull off the win, but they have conceded 3+ goals in 4 of the last 5 recent matches. If Barrow could remember that, they might get on the score sheet. Morecambe again layable for me at 1.28, very short odds, and a small back of Barrow as well at 15s. What we're looking for is for Barrow to score the next goal early enough to get those odds moving. So we saw the Barrow in play stats. They're quite good as well. So this looks a decent opportunity as well. So I'm just hoping that these sides will deliver. But it's getting harder and harder as we get later on to trust the market, really. The market has got a lot of these teams completely wrong. Let's work out some other matches we've been missing out on. Allsvenskan, well, I'll keep an eye on the Elf. One of the only 2 sides to get 60+ points last season. AIK are favourite as well. There'll be 2 sides to follow during the summer months. Lech Poznan, well, the draw was 1.37. Very unspectacular stats here. I'm not going to be laying the draw there just yet. Pisa and Palermo, 11th against 5th. Red card is in tow, so that could be a good Desmond opportunity there. Again, I'd like to delay to get as low odds as possible to take on that draw. Como, 4-0 up, 2-0 up, sorry. Brescia and Cosenza, 4 shots on, 60 and 65th minute, so quite recent. 9 shots off, really good concerted pressure from Brescia and 4 corners. We'll keep an eye just because they're lighting up the attacking pressure index. Venezia 2-3, well, that Desmond has already ended and it's gone in favour of the side 12th in the league rather than the side 2nd, who would be very keen, I'm sure, to nab an automatic promotion spot. Udinese are drawing yet again against a side 13th or lower. I think they've got a 100% draw record. So I wouldn't be laying the draw unless it was very, 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 very late. Because you know how Udinese love a good old draw. Cagliari and Verona, tough one to unpack. As you can tell by the league position, 16th against 15th. A very tight match. Just get rid of some of these. Won't be playing the Faroe Islands today. So Italian Serie A looks a tough old coupon today. You don't take on the Udinese draws unless it's very, very late indeed, where you can make sure that you're not going to lose much. They love the old draw. Salford City are looking quite good against Walsall. And don't forget they've been under a new manager of late. And that was a relegation 6-pointer against Sutton United, where they came off worst. But you'll note it was 0-1 to Sutton. I think we got an equaliser from Salford. And that Pisa Palermo Desmond has ended. I was waiting a bit longer. But with that red card in tow, that's always a good argument for taking on these 2-2s. So up to you. Please take what I'm saying and act on it if you like it. Don't wait for me to take action.
Pisa Palermo is 2-3.
If you like what you're hearing, if you like the arguments for it, have a go yourself. I like to delay, as you know, and maybe sometimes that costs. Looks like Salford City putting in a good fist of it against Walsall. Now the best way to have a play here without it costing a second goal for Walsall perhaps would be to see if Salford can get that goal before half time. So the half time market will provide you with far, far better odds. And at least you can have a play now without it costing you too much. And if they get the goal before half time,
Goal.
well, you'll have cleaned up.
Kasper Schmid is 1-0.
If they don't get the goal before half time, it's only a very low liability. This is probably asking a bit too much. Well, I would have backed at 80s. I'm not backing at 28s. So just a simple lay. The odds of 80 have disappeared. Those would have been very nice indeed. Hundreds is even better. I'd have a little pop at hundreds. If you get a quick goal from Salford, you never know. So low liability. That's the way to have a play rather than risking my usual £40 on a relegation threatened side away from home, despite the in-play stats. Now, if that was on the lay side, I'd already be in profit, but it's not. I can't get out of that, alas.
Goal.
So that's just a fun play.
Guy FK Varnamo is 1-0.
It gives you an angle in, just in case. And there's the goal from Elfsborg. Like Bodo Glimt, another one of your Scandinavian sides to follow this season. I can't be confident about giving any strong angles, but all I can recount is that they were second last season, I believe. One of only two sides to get the 60-plus point barrier. So obviously in decent nick, aren't they? So we've got a goal from Gillingham. We'll just check the goals as they come in. So I think there is an option that I can set the goals. So excuse me for a sec. There's normally an option where I think it's this one here where you can get the score at the top. Whenever a goal has come in, little feature at the top here. And you've got your nil-nils at the bottom. So that will be good for me. So we can get rid of this one, Katowice.
This market has been suspended.
And got a suspended market, so that could be one of our matches of interest. Be lovely. That was an equaliser for Salford City. 3 shots on, 5 off. Really good run of late. Don't forget they got the equaliser last week without winning. But, if we're trading this match, you're just looking at Salford to score the next goal. You're looking for Crewe to do something before half-time, but, well, looks like Forest Green are on a going day today. So that's one of our surprises today. 24th in the league.
Is 1-2.
Cosenza and Brescia, 1-2. Okay, I've got no real interest in that one, so we'll get rid of that. Pisa Palermo, Desmond Tutu already in, but it's gone to the red-carded side, which is interesting. But with a Desmond, it's a neutral play. Similar story, top of the league or second in the league. I've conceded that Desmond Tutu there as well. Looks as if Reggiana on each occasion have fought back from conceding first. And this is the first time they've led in the match. So I wonder if there's a late sting in the tail for Venezia. No shot on target since the 68th minute. It's not very compelling at all. So I won't be playing that just yet. Parma, well, looks as if it's a top 6 clash. So I think we're getting involved at the right time at 0-2 up. We can keep your liability low. 15 shots off target. Touch the old Peterboroughs against Carlisle with that kind of set of stats. Pisa and Palermo. Well, we've already got the Desmond. We'll keep an eye on that in case there's an opportunity of a late equaliser for Pisa against 10 men. Millwall really should be filling their boots against Rotherham today. So we're surprised to see this at 0-0 still. Possibility of laying the draw second half, but surely Rotherham won't pull out a 0-0. They're not to be trusted though. They can't score at all in recent matches. So you'll have to be trusting the Lions to get a result here. They won a draw and a win run recently. 1-1 draw against West Brom, which is a pretty decent result. And a 2-0 loss against Leeds, which was not unexpected. You'll note as well that Millwall are having trouble scoring that second goal. So this is a very risky lay the draw second half. If you're trusting a side who can't score 2 goals. Middlesbrough have the opener against Sheffield Wednesday. Relegation threatens Sheffield Wednesday. Newport and Crawley. Well, Newport did it against Forest Green. Can they do it against Crawley? Well, Crawley are a bit better positioned in the league than Forest Green. But when we backed Newport County the last time they were these odds, they did oblige. Very nicely indeed. Carlisle, we'll keep an eye on them to see if they can build on that win against Barnsley. 1 shot on 3 off and 2 corners. Now they're keeping Lincoln very quiet so far. Morecambe and Barrow, well worth laying that, I think, given Morecambe's really poor profile of late. But yet another side keeping Barrow very quiet. Morecambe 10th in the league, but they have been conceding heavily of late. Again, it's very low risk, so sit back and just hope that Barrow score the next goal. Cambridge and Wigan, 1-0 lead. I wouldn't be taking on just yet. And we're going to be hoping that we get a famous team talk from Crewe Alexandra at half-time. But yet another side struggling to score that second goal in the recent matches. They did beat Forest Green 1-4. We could do with that. They've scored 4 goals in 2 of the last 3 head-to-heads, but the last one in 2019. If they can replicate that 9th of September result, that would be fantastic. You never know. We could get a different side in the second half after a bit of team talk. And we got that goal from Pisa.
Palermo is 3-3.
So I wonder if any of you laid Palermo down to 10 men against Pisa. 1.61 it seems. No, 1.61 is the current draw. So that would have been a nice play. Had that tickled your interest. 3-3. 8 shots on 10 off 9 corners. Really good stats, of course. Down to 10 men. Unexpected 2-3 lead. Down to 3-3 now. So if you'd played, well done. That's why these matches are on the watch list. There's some kind of an angle there for us to look at. As you can see with Salford, really good first half. Just getting involved in the half-time market because they are 20th in the league. And that's the best way to limit your liability. Nothing doing from our Swedish friends just yet. Coming to an end, Italian Serie B. Notts County have equalised against MK Dons. I don't have a strong angle there. Not much doing in Italian Serie B today. And of course, you're not going to take that draw. Or are you going to take that draw on Sassuolo and Udinese? Udinese sick of the sight of a draw, I bet. Midtjylland is 0-1 at half-time. They did dominate the first half, but then it looks as if Nordland have got back into this, and the stats are identical, aren't they? Midtjylland have a tendency to be reliable, but 2.38 the favourites, telling you they're not strong favourites today, despite 4 consecutive wins, last 3-0, and scoring 2 against Copenhagen to no reply. It's very good form. It's a risky one, 2.38 the favourites, always telling you there could be a surprise result. That's what that translates as. Serie B, nothing much late on, apart from that Pisa Palermo, if you were interested in that one. Taking on those 10 men. Cagliari and Verona, 16th against 15th, could do with a win, either of these two. So not much doing at the moment. Nope, not seeing anything. So while it's half time, I'm going to get my laundry head on and just sort my laundered clothes out. So please excuse me for a few minutes. Borough 1-0. There's a goal at Burton. Possible lay now of Burton, says Mark. Salford has 2 0-0s all season, 1 at home and 1 away. Well, that's already come in, I think, hasn't it, Bosun, with that lead for Walsall. So another good call from yourself. Well done. Sorry, I haven't picked up on these, but I hope other members can see these. First half goal, Burton and Barnsley. Where's the Burton match? Let's see if I can find Burton and Barnsley, just to keep an eye on that one because you've got an interest in it. There's Burton and Barnsley, 20th against 5th, the Burton lead, indeed. But as I've said, you've got to be so wary with these relegation threatened sides. So just be very careful. They could nick it. Peterborough, Carlisle, shorter odds than this, 1.91 were Peterborough, and they lost 1-3. So it's tempting, especially looking at Burton's recent form, which is woeful. Where's that second goal again? It does scream out to take them on. But then sod's law is going to be 2-0. Barnsley, you can check out their need. Burton and Barnsley. Yeah, let's have a look at their league position. So you go to the standings. That will tell you how they stand now. So if this was to end 1-0 for Burton, they would be out of the relegation zone. And not only that, they'll have got a 4-point gap to Cheltenham if Cheltenham remains 0-0. So Cheltenham could do with a win. That would add another 2 points to their tally there. Barnsley, they are being tested by Oxford and Stevenage as far as their last playoff place. A win for them, take them up to 74 points, which would be a bit more secure. So the onus is on them to get something, but the onus is certainly on Burton to get something as well. And the way it's been in recent weeks, it's the relegation threatened sides who have been coming out on top in these clashes of top 6 versus bottom 6. So thank you for pointing it out. The positive argument, is that Burton haven't been scoring that second goal of late if you were to take on that Burton lead. Now, just allow me, while it's half time, just to sort out my laundry. I'll be back and I'll keep this in-play stats feed up for you. I'll be back in a few minutes for the second halves. So just excuse me for a sec, just sort the old laundry out. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Goal. Pisa Palermo is 4-3.
Okay. Okay. Right. Laundry has been sorted. Seems like Parma ended. And that 3-3 ended as well. 4-3 to Pisa. What a pity we didn't back Pisa when they were 2-3 down against 10 men. Ah,
K Barnamo is 2-0.
that would have been very nice indeed. Elfsborg, as you can see, dominant display. They're another side you've got to follow this season. They're going to be very reliable. Famous last words, of course. Elfsborg and Bodo Glimt, two of the names to take out of today. And that Pisa would have been fantastic. I hope one or two of you got on that. I don't know what the odds for Pisa were when they were 2-3 down to 10 men as well. I should have really taken note and had a go. That's the kind of configuration you look at, isn't it? In-play stats were pretty good as well. They started coming alive late on. And this is when it pays to consistently follow the in-play stats, by which I mean go up and down all the time. See how games are evolving, and then you can capture yet another goal at high attacking pressure, 96. You saw it with Bayer Leverkusen the other day. Such an excellent stat to give you an idea of the next team to score. Let's have a look at some of our watch lists as the second half will be approaching. I would have expected personally to have seen a Millwall far more dominant against the Rotherham side, who have been quite simply a vehicle for picking up 3 points. They're down, of course, Rotherham, but Middlesbrough have had problems scoring that second goal of late. Rotherham have had problems scoring themselves. So up to you if you want to delay the draw. It's at 2.5. That's probably with a bookmaker price. It'll be around that on Betfair. You can just bring up the Millwall Rotherham match. And that's your lost liability in the half-time market, because Salford didn't get that equaliser. So we can come back to this second half. They did get an equaliser second half in their last match against Sutton. So we can keep an eye on that one. Let's just get the Millwall match ready and waiting. Rotherham are done and dusted. We can have a quick look at the research. Give you an idea of whether Rotherham tend to capitulate late on, or whether Millwall themselves score second half goals consistently enough. Use Microsoft Edge. It'll avoid all of these damn adverts, as you can see, which is brilliant. It's nice and clean, no pop-ups or anything. So let's just have a look at this while it's half time. So Millwall, sorry. Yeah, Middlesbrough are leading against the Owls. Another relegation threat side, Sheffield Wednesday. Can they pull something out away from home, like so many other sides have done? Millwall did it against Southampton recently. Got that win away at Saints when not expected to. So they do have it in them to do something. Just a bit of a quiet, bit of a slow connection here, so apologies for that. And there's Bosun's favourite team, Mjøndalen, have just scored. Another side to follow in the Norwegian Tippeligaen. or First Division, as it's known. More on them as the season progresses, I'm sure. Rotherham and Millwall. Recent performances from Rotherham. Well, they had a 0-0 against Huddersfield recently at home. Failed to score in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recent matches. Kept only the one clean sheet, so they do concede. 0-0 at half time. That was Sheffield Wednesday scoring, so Millwall will feel that they can match that. Watford scoring 58th minute and 66 minutes. So you've got a kind of an idea from the most recent 0-0s at half time. Again, 59th, 60th minute for the first goal, second half. So that might give you something to think about apart from this one. But that was straight out. That was first half though, wasn't it? So that's an option. Wait for about the 55th to 60th minute. Millwall's goal scoring of late. Let's have a quick look at it. 2 goals. 34th, 5th minute and a penalty. Zian Fleming. So I think Zian Fleming, who famously wrote the James Bond novels, he could be worth looking at. 54th minute goal against Blackburn away. 90th minute, Tanganga, vital win there. Failing to score against Leeds, that's not a surprise. And a good result against West Brom, because that was a penalty that they conceded, but they scored first half there. So let's have a look at the conversion rate. Season long. Well, just look at them. Millwall against relegation threatened sides, and they can pull it off. 3 goals against Rotherham, 4 against Sheffield Wednesday away. They haven't failed not to score against 19th and lower. They did fail to score against 17th and 18th, which is a slight concern. But Rotherham against mid-table. Where's the 0-0? I don't see a 0-0 in a Rotherham match this season, apart from playing 21st and lower. You've got a couple of 0-0s there. So that's a positive for taking that draw on. Do you trust Millwall? They have been scoring recently. This will give you an idea of the most vulnerable time, I think, for Rotherham. And it could be that 60-minute mark, as I say. 12 out of those 16 goals conceded at home have come 60th minute. I might be looking for a 60-minute opening gambit there. Indeed, Millwall, 7 of their, how many goals? 11 scored away from home. Second half came in the 76th to 90th minute. So this could be worth your delaying entry into the market. 9 0-0s at half-time at home, only 1 at full-time. So Rotherham are used to this at home. 7 0-0s at half-time away, only 2 at full-time for Millwall. Millwall are used to these 0-0s as well. Very good conversion rate, as you can see. 7 at half-time. 5 of those saw at least a goal second half. 9 at half-time. 1 of them, 8 of them saw a goal second half. Very good conversion rate. That's what I like to look at. And we've got an idea, 60th plus minute, I think, for the possible entry point here. And Sod's Law, of course, 46th minute Millwall goal. Decent enough short odds for the draw, relative, 2.72. We did have a look at variable profit Dutching yesterday, didn't we? With Liverpool. And that got us a break even on the 2-1. So you could arguably do 0-1 to Millwall, 0-0 as a break even. 0-1. 0-2. Just want to see what kind of liability it is. Particularly when you take insurance out, it can be very expensive. What's this drop? From 50 down to 27. It's increased because you're covering the current scoreline. That's because Rotherham don't tend to score, so you're only relying on one team to end this 0-0. 1-1 could be the danger, could be a danger.
This market has been suspended.
But we will see. We've got a suspended market at the beginning of the second half. So let's get going. So that's a potential lay the draw, Rotherham and Millwall, as the second half begins. I'm going to hope that I can get another 15 minutes out of this at 0-0. Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday. We'll do keep an eye just on these relegation threatened sides just at this stage of the season to see whether they've got a bite in them. Newport County, I like 3 shots on 2 off 2 corners. I like the fact this is a tight match. It's just a difference in the finishing. That's the only difference between these two sides. And we know what Newport did against Forest Green. Let's just, there we go. Let's have a look at the Crawley goals. 2.6 the favourite, though, is telling you expect the unexpected, basically. So it could easily end 0-2. Both goals from open play. S. Bennett injured. I don't know if he's a key player. He's a defender, Scott Bennett. All dependent on the odds, really. It's been a speculative day today, taking on 0-2 leads. Look at that, 110 already from Carlisle. 24th in the league. 2 goals against Barnsley. Or was it 3 goals against Peterborough, sorry. So let's have a look at Lincoln City. So I'll just keep an eye on that one. Oh, it's 0-2 to Lincoln, so thankfully that saved us a bit of cash. This is the dilemma we have. You can pull off an unexpected win against a 1.25 shot the match before, put in a really good shift today, and then when you're just about to trust them, they go and concede that second goal because they are 24th in the league. Lincoln are 6th. Now, speculators head on. The odds are going to be very, very short indeed. But Lincoln haven't conceded in 4 of the last 5 matches. But just based on that 112 attacking pressure index and the fact they scored 3 goals against Peterborough away at Peterborough, I'm going to have a look at Lincoln's odds, 1.07, and I'm going to lay them. Very, very short odds. We're just looking for Carlisle to resurrect what they were doing against Peterborough. This is the time to lay or time to get involved in a relegation threatened match when you can keep your liability low.
Midtjylland FC Noordsjælland is 0-2.
Wow, so that's another one we missed. I wasn't seeing it from Midtjylland. I did see it at the beginning of the match, but not really. So there we go. That's looking quite nice.
FC Noordsjælland is 0-2.
You never know with Carlisle. 3 goals against Peterborough. And they do have that boy Mellish playing today, the midfielder Mellish. He got the hat-trick. There we go, that's matched. So that's, again, very speculative, just based on Carlisle's performance against Peterborough. So it's looking to be one of those days today, kind of speculative days where we're just taking on 2-0 leads and 0-2 leads. Carlisle against Lincoln. It's a 2-0 lead for Lincoln. It's not a surprise, but Carlisle did score 3 goals in their last match against Peterborough when Peterborough were 1.25 favourite. So in what looks like a very speculative day today, we're taking on a lot of these 0-2 leads. I'm happy to lay Lincoln at 1.07 and happy to back Carlisle at 120 or higher in the hope that they remember that away from home against Peterborough, they scored 3 goals. And the hat-trick man is playing today for Carlisle. So that's worth a punt, isn't it? We're not got any of our Feyenoords playing today, or Liverpool's conceding first today. We haven't got any of those big guns at the moment.
FC Noordsjælland is 0-3.
Well, bang goes Midtjylland. Capitulated. That's all about 2.38 the favourite. That's why you've got to pay attention to the pre-match odds. Look. And Watford scored first against West Brom. Now, when we were looking earlier on, West Brom seem to have had that game within their control. So let's head on over to that one. I'm just going to put the leagues into league form. I've got them in goal scoring form at the moment, so the goals come up the top here. So let's just see where we can find West Brom and Watford in the English Championship. So they should have been near the top here. There it is, West Brom and Watford. This is a 1.91 favourite, 5th against 14th. So let's have a look at recent form. Head-to-heads, 2-2 and a 3-2. So both teams to score has been a ready angle for these two. Let's have a look at Watford's recent performances. They got the win against Birmingham, who relegation threatened, and that was only a 1-1. A good 2-2 against Leeds, a combative performance. They were leading, though, 2-1 in that match. Prior to that, they failed to score that second goal, didn't they? So they might be gettable. West Brom are coming into this in good, unbeaten form. And odds-on favourite, Lillestrøm are a goal down to Kristiansund. But we have to rely on the in-play stats today in the Norwegian Eliteserien for the odds-on favourites. So umming and ahhing with Millwall. Both teams to score in the last 3 head-to-heads. Both teams to score in 4 of the last 5 West Brom matches.
Burton Albion Barnsley is 1-1.
Burton Albion and Barnsley. Well, those of you who wanted to take on that Burton Albion lead, well done if you did. Again, as I say, don't wait for me to pull the trigger. If you're happy in taking on Burton, and the positives in taking on Burton, they haven't scored that second goal, have they, in the recent 5 matches that are shown here. So that was an argument for taking them on. This is the dilemma I face, you see. I've got to pick the right side, 20th or thereabouts in the league, leading to take on. I haven't in recent matches. I've been picking the opposing Cambridge, opposing Carlisle, and they go on and win emphatically. So once bitten, twice shy. So that's the reason why I wouldn't have got involved. But those of you who follow English League One more than I do and having a good opinion about Barnsley, then by all means take that on. And you'll have been amply rewarded there. Let's go through some of the other matches we've not caught up on. This is the First Division, 15 minutes in. As you can see, it's a very tough coupon today in the Norwegian First Division, opening match of the season. Molde normally deliver at odds on. This is the first match of the season. We've also got that Lillestrøm lead, so I'll need to find that as well. SK Brann catching the eye early on in the Eliteserien. Odds on favourite away from home. We've got nothing to work off though. That's the problem. A lot of 0-0s, as you can see. So any of these worth taking on at some point. Stockport, top of the league. They did go through a couple of 0-0s, didn't they, recently? I thought they did. Must have been in matches before this lot. They did have a 0-0 sequence which ended starting to score again. Would be an obvious choice to lay the draw, wouldn't it? Top of the league side. They're not top of the league because they're missing goals. To keep an eye on Lillestrøm and Kristiansund. Lillestrøm odds on favourite pre-match. But again, there's nothing to work off. 1.5, so emphatic pre-match favourite. We'll see whether the market has got them correct. They got Bodo Glimt correct earlier on. So let's have a look through. Anything else catching the eye? Northampton, Port Vale again. You never know. Port Vale might pull off an equaliser. 3 shots on, 3 shots off. Again, it's a very tight match, stats-wise, isn't it? Oh, I could put the wrong one up there. let's just carry on. Port Vale, that's what I was looking for. Just a pin at the top there. Keep an eye on that particular match. Plymouth and Bristol City. Plymouth relegation threatened as well, but good secondary stats for Plymouth. 9 shots off target, 8 corners. Second half, coming to the hour mark, they've had 4 shots off target second half, just the 1 shot on target. Looks like the 1 shot on target's produced a goal for Bristol City, 57th minute. So that'll be disappointing for Plymouth, but might not all be over, particularly at this stage of the season. Tranmere and Colchester would be a late lay-the draw there. Relegation 6-pointer for those two. Similar story, Sutton and Swindon. But it looks as if Sutton are dominating this particular match. And there's that goal for Brann. This is one of those configurations where you could possibly get involved in a half-time market. But as it's the first match of the season, it's why I'm a little lukewarm about getting involved. But looks like the in-play stats are working well for Norway.
Cambridge UTD Wigan is 2-0.
Cambridge United and Wigan is 2-0. Don't have a play there. This is another emphatic win for Cambridge United. That's why I wouldn't necessarily take on 19th in the league. Second consecutive match they've scored 2+ goals in. Scored those 2 against Barnsley, so that's why I wouldn't have necessarily taken them on. So it's
this market has been suspended.
Suspended market, one of our matches of interest. Now Millwall are starting to light it up. 3 shots on, 6 off and 5 corners.
Been suspended.
So they've come alive second half. This is a must-win for Millwall. You've got to take points off Rotherham. So let's have a look. How low? Or have we missed out? But let's have a look at Millwall. Rotherham and Millwall. It's a must-win. You've got to take points off this awful Rotherham side. The draw's getting down to 2.28. Normally I would do a full liability on the lay the draw at 2.28. So I'm hoping that Millwall will take the gift that is a match against Millwall, against Rotherham. Must take 3 points. It's as simple as that. Really come out firing on all cylinders. 3 shots on, 2 of them second half. 6 shots off, 4 of them second half. 5 corners, 3 of them second half. 85 attacking pressure index. That's what we were expecting. That's the result of that managerial team talk at half time. You've got to beat Rotherham. They can't even score, for goodness sake. And Millwall have been scoring regularly enough. Rotherham 0, Millwall 0. Rotherham are relegated. They've been failing to score of late. Millwall have been scoring goals. Both sides have a good conversion rate of goals. 9 0-0s at half-time at home, 1 at full-time. 7 0-0s at half-time away, only 2 at full-time. If you can get to the 60th minute, you might want to start laying the draw.
Goal. Walsall Salford City is 1-1.
In Rotherham and Millwall's match in favour of Millwall. Really, when you're playing Rotherham, it should be a 3-pointer. And the stats have started very, very brightly second half for Millwall as well. So if you lay the draw, Millwall score first, the draw odds will rise markedly. They've scored 7 goals in the 76th to 90th minute in the second half away from home. If you want to delay to then, you'll get very, very short odds about the draw.
Walsall Salford City is 1-1.
That's that Salford City equaliser. I gave that a bit of a mention earlier on, but I didn't act upon it. They did this in the last match, Salford, but they went on to lose that particular match. So again, I'm passing on some good stuff, but I'm not acting on it myself. I hope 1 or 2 of you are picking it up. Salford, it's very hard to just keep a track of all of these consistently enough. That's why we saw that progression from Millwall stats-wise, didn't we? And that probably has ensured that lay of the draw there. Stockport and Wimbledon, top of the league, Stockport. That's the only reason I've got them listed or highlighted. Sheffield Wednesday, just looking to see whether Middlesbrough are vulnerable today against a side in desperate need of points, of course. And Newport are still umming and ahhing about whether to score a goal. Very, very similar shots and stats. And again, 0-2. I don't put you off laying 0-2 leads, particularly under 1.1, where the liability is low. And we've got half an hour to go as well. But this is 2.6 the favourite. So you've just seen with Midtjylland, you can get all sorts of strange results. 0-3 I wouldn't have expected. Crewe, well, they're starting that fight back against Forest Green. As you can tell, 110 attacking pressure index. We need a goal to get the market moving. We're with the right team second half, but Forest Green have such a comfortable lead. They might be able to pull this one off today. Carlisle, well, we did lay Lincoln 0-2 up, very speculatively, but look at Carlisle, 5 shots on 10 off 6 corners, fighting to stay up. Barrow, well, 3 shots off 3 corners, 26 dangerous attacks to 10. Again, the clock is all with these leaders, isn't it? But Barrow, good stats, apart from the shots on target. Burton and Barnsley, looks as if this could be a turnaround now in favour of Barnsley, who's just starting to light up the attacking pressure index. Those of you who took on the Burton Albion lead, well done. Cambridge and Wigan, yet another 2-goal haul for Cambridge United. I wouldn't be laying them today. They pulled off a 2-0 win last week, didn't they? If you are to lay side 19th in the league, you lay them at these odds, that's for sure. Crewe Alexandra, come on, we could do with a goal. 110 attacking pressure index.
Burton Albion Barnsley is 1-2.
And as I was just alluding to, the turnaround is complete for Barnsley. So those of you who played that one, well done.
Goal. Burton Albion Barnsley is 1-2.
And that's confirmation from Dr. Stephen Hawking there. West Brom against Watford. This is tempting, isn't it? Did I play this one? West Ham and Watford. West Brom. It's tempting.
Goal. Midtjylland FC Nordsjælland.
Well, Midtjylland have a goal back. So laying under 1.5 goals. So let's try this one out. It's going to be relatively high. That's the problem. So we're going to expect something like 2.3 for West Brom +1. Hopefully 2.3 or higher. How about that? Look at that. Mystic Meg. Blimey. Bang on the button. 2.32. So let's look at the reward if West Brom score the next goal. Net reward will be £52. If you don't cash out, -22. So you're going to be hoping in this match, this remains 0-1 until the 90th minute, and you're going to get a West Brom equaliser to guarantee 100% return. It's a bit of a risk. Why is it a risk? Because the insurance is so high. So you've got an alternative. You could get involved here, and you could even just back West Brom just to keep your liability ultra short, because if they score the next goal, those odds of 8.8 will not be there. So it's a big liability doing it my way with the insurance.
Cambridge UTD Wigan is 2-1.
Oh, well, there's that goal back for Wigan against Cambridge. You see the dilemma I have with these relegation threatened sides. Are they going to cock it up as you'd expect, or are they going to pull off another big win as they did in the last match? Ordinarily, I'd be laying a Cambridge 2-0 lead. Ordinarily. Suspenders, is that a West Brom equaliser? Or have we been done by a 0-2 for Elton John's boys?
Cambridge UTD Wigan is 2-2.
Looks like it's a 0-2. Yeah, 0-2. Oh. West Brom and Watford, 5th against 14th. Just,
Goal.
again, it's not emphatic stats.
West Brom Watford is 0-2.
1.91 pre-match. disappointing 66-minute Watford goal. I don't know what kind of a goal it was. We've been on the wrong end of penalties of late. Let's have a look at the West Brom and Watford. Well, from open play, so fair enough. Not the most emphatic in-play stats in hindsight, I suppose. But I did like what they were doing recently at West Brom. And they have scored, well, both teams have scored 2 goals in the last 2 head-to-head. So if that's a way to get involved, then now would be the point. Again, this seems to be the story of today. And if you went in this route, you've only had a small liability, as you can see there. And you could just top up on that. So this is the best route, was just to have backed West Brom. If that goal had come from West Brom, those odds of 8.8 would have disappeared. So always think about how you can get involved without it costing you too much. This looks rather nice. So only for an extra £4, you can bump up the West Brom profits in case they score the next goal. Don't forget, the last 2 head-to-heads have been 2-2 and 2-3. So it's yet another speculator.
Burton Albion Barnsley is 1-3.
There we go. Barnsley have taken over. So this looks like one of those days where usual service is resumed. Now you've got a goal back from Leyton Orient against Peterborough, who will be lacking a little bit of confidence at the moment.
It has been suspended.
Plymouth and Bristol City, we're just seeing whether 20th in the league will do something. Stockport, well, just a 1 shot on target for them. One of our matches, our matches of interest, has a goal because the market was suspended. Carlisle, look at that, 6 shots on 13 off 9 corners, another 24th in the league. This is going as you'd normally expect, 6th against 24th. But that wasn't the case, was it, against Peterborough? That's what I had in the back of my mind. But taking on Lincoln now, of course, very low liability. And they are giving you a good run for your money, Carlisle. Morecambe and Barrow, well, we're not getting anything yet from Barrow. 1 shot on 5 off and 3 corners. Again, lighting up the attacking pressure. It's very frustrating when you can see these sides, like Carlisle, like Barrow, lighting up the attacking pressure index, but just not crossing the line and getting you to the other end with the goal that you need to move the market. Similar story for Crewe. 5 shots on, 10 off, 7 corners. We could have done with a goal 60th minute from them. That would have been very nice.
Newport County Crawley Town is 0-3.
Wow, 0-3 now. Newport and Crawley. So we'll get rid of that one. Don't need to watch that one anymore. Salford City could make this 1-2. They got a 2-1 loss against Sutton in the last match. Prior to that, a couple of good wins.
This market has been suspended.
They did get the equaliser against Walsall. That's something I gave a mention to earlier on. And if you did take action on that, well done. I don't know why I didn't. That would have been... I know I followed Salford under this new manager. We've got a goal back from West Bromwich Albion. Perfectly timed. Now, let's see the fun begin. Now, what this has done, this can give you your first get out of jail opportunity. You could just break even. You could break even now if you're not taken by the concession of 2 consecutive goals. And we've got a goal in the Rotherham-Millwall match. And I'm afraid it's going to produce a break even because it's gone to the side who can't score goals.
West Brom Watford is 1-2.
Let me just finish with this West Brom match because I just want to show you the impact of a 1-2 if you're squeamish about your +1s. That reduces your liability down to £6 from 40. So if you were getting worried that you'd made the wrong choice here, you can get out. Okay, and you'll make a £5 loss instead of 35 here. You'll still make your loss on that lay of over 1.5 goals. So the best route was the back of West Brom. £204 waiting on them now. You can take an £8 green screen and just say to yourself, if you don't like that liability, I'll get out of this. Or you could weigh up the amount of time left. 20 minutes to go for a side at home. Playing a side that in the last 2 matches have had a 2-2 and a 3-2 against. So again, this is what I call options at exit. There's no one straight answer to cashing out. You have to take it on a match by match basis.
Middlesbrough Sheffield is 2-0.
Now, getting rid of that 13 for Watford is going to cost a fortune because you're playing at odds on. So it's taken 200 quid away from West Brom.
This market has been suspended.
Now, if you're happy with that, with a 87 quid free bet on the baggies, then by all means. Option 2, take the £8.77.
Middlesbrough Sheffield is 2-0.
Or that's your options. Or stay in with 20 minutes to go, follow the in-play stats, see whether West Brom can make it a third consecutive head-to-head where both teams have scored 2 goals. So let's hope that the baggies are up for this with 18 minutes to go. Rotherham and Millwall, let's just break and have a look at that because it really should be Millwall winning this. You've got to take it, haven't you? Surely, come on. But what we're going to be facing here now is what's called a flat line. You've got to take the green screen because it's highly likely that you're going to be seeing a draw. So I would recommend that on Telegram. Reasonable return, isn't it? Now what you could do, you could use that tenner, have a bit of fun, a free bet. So £5 here. Or let's split that tenner into a £5 there, laying Rotherham, and a £5 here backing Millwall. There we go. So you've got yourself a free bet. So that's what I would recommend to Telegrammers. As I keep repeating, it's a must win when you're playing Rotherham. Rotherham 1, Millwall 0. So if you did lay the draw, I would recommend you cashing out. I made a £10 profit cashing out, which was a surprise. What I've done, I've laid Rotherham for a £5 cost, £5 liability. I've backed Millwall at 13.5 or 14 for a £5 stake. It's effectively a free bet. I've got 29p on Rotherham, £14 on the draw, 77 if Millwall win. Don't forget, Rotherham are already relegated, so this is a big surprise that they're actually leading.
Carlisle Lincoln City is 1-2.
Because they actually have trouble scoring. Did I hear Carlisle Lincoln City 1-2? I think we're involved in that one, aren't we? Let's have a quick look there. I thought we were involved in Carlisle and Lincoln. Plymouth red card means Bristol City should hold on to their lead. Carlisle and Lincoln, let's take a quick look at that. So we've got a free bet on the Lions. Care of that goal. Now, if you are laying the draw second half, you could also lay the 0-0 second half, and then you're guaranteed a return if at least one team scores. So don't forget that option. Whenever I say lay the draw second half, if it's a 0-0, you could also lay the 0-0, but that would be at higher odds, but you're guaranteed a return then. There we go. So you're making a marginal gain. It's all relative to your liability. You're making an evens return. So if your liability is 70 quid there, then that's looking a lot rosier, isn't it? You got 91 quid on the draw here. If Carlisle could get a second goal back, look, don't forget, they're coming off the back of that excellent win against Peterborough United. So I will pass this on again. It's another tenner. You could even take that tenner. That's not too shabby for a relegation threatened side, isn't it? Carlisle against Lincoln. Lincoln have scored a goal back. You could cash out now if you wanted. But for me, I've got an £8.44 green screen. I've got £7.50 loss on Lincoln, £91 on the draw, £208 on Carlisle. Don't forget, Carlisle scored 3 goals unexpectedly against a 1.25 favourite in the last match. Or was it 2 goals against Barnsley? I'm not too sure. I think it was the 3-1 win against Peterborough. So they do have goals in the locker. They're desperate need for points, relegation threatened. So we're in a good position there. So I wouldn't balk these 8 quids and those 10 quids because that would be an £18 profit already. And as I keep saying, if your target is £100, that's 18% of the way there. So well done, Carlisle. Speculatives seem to be paying off. Big surprise this from Millwall, and look at the clock.
This market has been suspended.
3 drop points this is.
This market has been suspended.
Terrible stuff. Now that Plymouth have been red carded, I'll take them off the watch list. There. And there's a Millwall goal. Millwall goal. Excellent stuff. Whenever you get an underdog scoring the first goal, when you've laid the draw, you've got to cash out because it's highly likely that you're going to get a draw. So we're up and running with our free bet. How has that increased the green screen with 12 minutes to go? How about that? Up to £29 green screen. Now that's getting rather tempting now, isn't it? That's a nice return for a free bet. Don't forget, I could have loaded up with some of my own cash, but why not go for a free bet? Now, I'm quite happy, I think, with the 30 quid. We've got £77 on Millwall, or we've got a £31 profit here. I'm quite happy to take that 30 quid, I think. That's a fairly decent return. Oh, let's just try again. And Midtjylland have come back from 3-0 down, which is a huge surprise. I don't know what
has been suspended.
Why I can't cash out of this. Unable to place the following small lay bet because the current lay odds in the market are 1.01. So there's a mistake with Fairbot here today, which is a slight concern because the odds are certainly not 1.01. So I'll just have to lay each one. So that's split that one up, lay that one. Normally this green up works very well. There we go, 31 quid, guaranteed. I'm happy with that personally. If you want to hold out for 77 quid on Millwall, by all means do. As I've just repeated, this is a team you take 3 points off. Just going to make sure you can all see it. Robert Carlisle, indeed, got a goal back. Great actor. Salford 1-1 as well. So I hope you played there, Ashley. Bosun, my apologies for not catching up earlier on. St Gallen and Luzerne, both playing for points to be in the championship section when the league splits. So motivation there for St Gallen and for Luzerne. Thank you very much for passing that on, Bosun. I'm not sure there's been any goals in that match. We can have a quick look. St Gallen and Luzerne. So I would expect a Millwall win here. Let's just catch up with St Gallen and Luzerne. We don't know if there's been any goals just yet. So we're just looking for Swiss Super League. There it is. There has been a goal already. And it's a 2.05, the favourite match. So I think Bosun is targeting that 0-0. So job done again. So thank you very much for passing that on, Bosun. Birmingham, 21st in the league, holding Preston. This is one of our going to be one of our shock results. Guess what? Another relegation threatened side pulling off the big win. Consistent, isn't it? Swansea, 2 shots on 8, offered 6 corners. Plymouth red card, I think we'll get rid of that one. I can't see them pulling it off. Brennan start. It's too early in the elite, in the top of league to get involved there. Bran, well, could have got involved in the first half, couldn't we? Looking, particularly when their stats were so strong, looking at the potential goal before half time, but we don't have any pre-match stats to work off. Tranmere and Colchester, relegation 6-pointer coming to the 80th minute. 1.25 would be the target there. Cheltenham and Exeter have been in brilliant form under Gary Caldwell, who's dragged them out of the relegation zone up to 15th place, but Cheltenham need to do something in English League One as well. This is where you're going to get your motivation from. The live standings. And better to go to the match that you're interested in, because then you will see which match was I interested in. I'm getting a bit confused with this. Right, this has gone a bit mental now. All right, don't have to keep harping on about it. Thank you. Right, malfunction there. So it looks like they've got getting the odds-ons right. And how about Lillestrøm? Do you fancy a bit of Lillestrøm today? I like the look of that, but you are taking a risk. But I've just alluded to it. They got Bodo Glimt right. They got AIK right. They got Elfsborg right. Odds-on favourites. Are they going to get Lillestrøm right? Do you trust it? Opening match of the season. 4 shots on 2 off 4 corners. 41 dangerous attacks. 41 dangerous attacks to 8. That's pretty good. And well done to Cambridge United, following up 2 consecutive wins, scoring 5 goals in the last 2 matches, giving themselves a real opportunity to get out of English League One. Let's have a look at the live standings now for Cambridge United. Just with that goal, it's going to be vital. And if you click on the team's name, you'll get them highlighted in the standings rather than having to look for them. So this is huge. It's a 6-point gap now for Cambridge, which is 2 consecutive wins for Cheltenham just to get to them, with matches running out. So this is why you wouldn't have expected that win against Barnsley, but it's vitally important. You take 3 points away from this, and they're back to 42, which is far too near the relegation zone. Wigan, mid-table mediocrity, you suggest here. A lack of motivation, really. Not so for, well, Cardiff are leading. Coventry were the odds-on favourites. I didn't really follow that match, but it looks like Coventry have got the goal back. No, it's been disallowed. So is that something for us to just pay attention to? Potential for Coventry to get back into this. They were very strong odds-on favourites pre-match. Let's just see if we can follow them or find them. Coventry, English Championship. I'll put it back into league order. It's far easier to get to the matches. So English Championship, Coventry and Cardiff. Just had a goal disallowed. That's always piques my interest, particularly when it's an odds-on favourite involved. So let's have a look at their in-play stats for Coventry. Well, Cardiff are 11th in the league.
This market has been suspended.
Outside chance
This market has
of a
been
playoff
suspended.
place. Carlisle 7th, much nearer to the playoff places, of course, and getting something out of this match will be vitally important. There's that Stockport goal if you laid the draw. Top of the league, that's the only reason I would have laid the draw in that Stockport match. And Rotherham have got the goal back against Millwall. Wow, I'm glad I cashed out there. So this is a great reminder to you. When you cash out, it doesn't matter what happens after you've cashed out. Look at that. Rotherham 2, Millwall 1. appalling display from the Lions today. Rotherham have got nothing to play for. They have trouble scoring that second goal. So certainly, if this gets down to 1.1, I will have a little lay of Rotherham because they're not used to winning. This is a huge shock, and we got away with it. We've got away with it. We've made the profit with another underdog or relegation. Well, they are relegated. They're not threatened. They are relegated. So this is a huge turn up. And looking at this all day long, who would you be siding with for the win? I wonder if this Rotherham goal is a penalty or something like that. Because this is an appalling performance from Millwall.
Canberra is 2-1.
It has been suspended.
No, from open play. It's that boy Revan is having a good game. A goal and an assist. This is well, got a goal back from Barrow against Morecambe, but
This mark, it has been suspended.
all too late unless old Eric can bring me some sunshine by conceding a second goal. And our joy in that Carlisle goal has been ended by a Lincoln City 1-3 late on. What a pity there. Now, are Morecambe going to be sweating it a little at the end of this match?
Goal.
Barrow have the goal back.
Canberra is 2-1.
It would have been far better if it was a very, very late goal. And we're getting those late goals coming in.
City is 1-3.
So it's nothing really doing at the moment. As you can see there, I backed Barrow, I think. That's the only thing I did. Back Barrow. Very short odds. I must have laid Morecambe as well, of course, to get that draw down to only £1. I'm afraid you're not going to get much of a return here. But if you want to reduce your liability from that £9 down to £2, well, you can red up now. But it's well worth staying in. Reduce that liability down to £1. You never know, Barrow might pull it off. But the goal has come far too late to really impact upon the match, or upon the market, shall I say. So Rotherham and Millwall be looking to target Rotherham at 1.1 odds or shorter, because this is very, very unexpected result. And it could change Millwall's season, this. It's not going to change Rotherham's at all. Have a look in the live standings for this Rotherham-Millwall match. I'm delighted to come out of it with a profit. Let's have a look at the standings. What this has done for Rotherham, it's kept them bottom basement on 23. They're done. You've got to get to 41 points and hope that the other three sides in between lose every single match rather conveniently for you. Not going to happen. Millwall, they're still looking behind their shoulders at the relegation zone, only 4 points away. A draw would take it 5 points, which is a win and 2 draws above the relegation zone. So certainly just a point will bring Blackburn and Stoke into the equation as well, psychologically. And with Blackburn winning, Stoke drawing, that would be a good result for Millwall. Get this lot into the relegation mix. So at least they've got other teams to fight against these three. An awful display from Millwall today in what should be a banker against Rotherham, but we've come out of it very well, unscathed, despite it again being one of those relegation dogfights that's going to the side who are already relegated in the New York Stadium in Rotherham. Fantastic stuff. Coventry and Cardiff. Can Coventry get a goal back?
This market
1.45 pre-match favourites. Not really lighting up the attacking pressure index or anything else like that. Stockport and Wimbledon. I don't think much is going to go on there.
Goal.
Middlesbrough.
Walsall Salford City is 2-1.
Walsall Salford City 2-1. And West Brom have the goal back. Excellent stuff. Let's go to the Baggies.
West Brom Watford is 2-2.
Let's go to the baggies. Have we got a profit on the draw? Let's go and have a look at Watford. You saw the head-to-heads. That's what I didn't panic at 0-2. You saw the head-to-heads, 2-2 and 3-2, last two head-to-heads, and they're very, very recent head-to-heads. How has this impacted on this? Do we have a profit on the draw? We've got £3 loss on the draw, but again, you've got that £15. Now, are you going to take the green, or are you going to look for the baggies to get the win and make £204? Now, you'll remember with Kilmarnock, I made the wrong decision. I took £91 instead of 300. How about here? Are you going to take the green screen, given that it's so late in the match? There's another £12 to add to your money. Sorry, this is be the internet. I can't legislate for that. I have to wait for it to come back up. Just at the wrong time when you wanted to green up. This will just be the internet going slightly. Hopefully it will come back. This will probably be a good one to look at taking that green, but I can't get back in. My apologies. So you've seen the result there. You can take a green screen now, or you can hold out for 200 plus quid. And with a 1.11, well, these are skewed. These are bookmakers' odds. They're totally out of kilter. Basically, daylight robbery. Well, Barrow are looking to make it 2-2, but the clock's not their friend. Oh, that would be rather nice end to that. So that West Brom goal late on.
Goal. Northampton Port Vale is 2-0.
Let's apologies for this. I have to use a virtual private server from Thailand, and this sometimes can happen. So let's just get back. And this is let's just, come on. Don't be shy. Oh, frustrating. It's just because the connection has dropped slightly. Just at the end of the match. So I would be laying Millwall late on if I could get on. Sorry, laying Rotherham late on. As I said, 1.1 and lower. Coventry. Again, they're all running out of time, this lot. So you'd be looking to lay Cardiff late on at 1.08 and lower. Nope. That's the problem of living in this part of the world. You have to cover your gambling. Barrow, again, the clock's not their friend. Give that another 10 minutes. I think they'd have made that 2-2. Good result again for Cambridge. Watch out for them next week. Doesn't matter what the odds are. And, well, Crewe, really good performance. 5 shots on, 16 off 8 corners. But that lay Forest Green at 0-3 up. Again, speculative, didn't come into fruition. Come on, West Brom. If they get another winner, then that'll be a £200 profit. But I probably would have taken the green on this occasion. Just given the clock not with us. Get rid of that one. Again, Lillestrøm, potential second half, I think. If I can get on. Let's see if I can get back in. I need this. This is a computer which runs in London on a virtual server. So it's like I'm in the UK. So it's obviously just an internet issue, so my apologies with that. Right. Well, it's all academic. We're getting the full-time results coming in. I'm waiting for that West Brom ding. That would be very nice indeed. Let's get back.
This market
That'll be the end of the match, I would suspect. So that 12 quid, probably would have taken that. Just add it to your pile of green screens. So it's just a bit laboured.
market has been
There we go.
suspended.
So
Market
£3
has been
loss.
suspended.
Quite happy to take a £3 loss there. Well called, I thought. That 2-2. We could have made more money out of that by laying Watford late on. So it's always something to remember. A bit like Leverkusen, you get these opportunities to really pile in. With Leverkusen, you could have backed them at 17.5 the other day, 0-1 down. So these are all coming to an end. So coming into the second half, if you're interested in Lillestrøm, 4 shots on, 3 off and 5 corners to 0. It is the opening day of the season, so if you lose, look at this, for example, 1.53 shot, opening match of the season, currently at 2-2. Wonder if they can end that. The Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division, it's too young in the season for us to have any strong angles, so we have to have a very strong in-place stats look at these particular matches. I will be looking at some of these probably on Telegram for you. This is normally my day off, but it's nice to see these major leagues. Such a good Monday. Lecce and Roma coming up. Roma's odds look very big for what they've achieved under Daniele De Rossi. He's got them scoring 2+ goals very readily. So it looks like we're coming to the end of the 5 o'clocks. What a pity West Brom couldn't get that third goal. That would have been very nice indeed. So we've pretty much come out of this unscathed, I would say. Some good greens, and they're great to get the result. Rotherham and Millwall, where ordinarily you'd be facing a loss, but we approached it right. We laid the draw, then we used our profits from the draw to get involved and get ourselves a 30 quid green screen out of that draw profit. So that was brilliant. As you can see, Barrow, a few more minutes, I think they would have broken through to get the 2-2, but another good result for Morecambe on their quest for automatic promotion. Tranmere and Colchester would have been a late the draw for me, but looks like the clock has got the better of these two. Again, 17th against 22nd, 3 points changes the whole complexion of these two. Could even change the whole complexion of their season. Elfsborg, that could be a Desmond late on. Opening match of the season, though, as I say. And Lillestrøm looks good for an equaliser. I think that could be just that, 45 dangerous attacks to 8. It's risky playing opening matches of the season, of course. So I'll leave you now. We've still got some interesting matches coming up. Lecce and Roma, certainly. I'm all over Roma there, all things considered. But I don't know why they're only 2.2. They're drifting. Very strange. They got an injury or something. Watch out for Rosenborg, another odds-on favourite. The market's got the odds-on favourites correct in the Elite Syrian today. So watch out for the remaining odds-on favourite, Rosenborg, and Lillestrøm, the other odds-on favourite, as well as their second half begins 1.5. Thanks very much for coming along this Easter Monday. Swansea and QPR game finished. Betfair timings are out. Don't rely on Betfair at all, Ashley. That's why you've got soccer24.com. Betfair, if you use Betfair, you're not liable for their mistakes. Carlisle 3-2, is it? Yeah. And Bosun just reminds you, do not follow Betfair's correct scores or stats. They are totally out of whack. Thank you very much for coming along this Easter Monday. I'll be with you a little bit longer. I don't know what's coming up in the following weeks. We should get a return to league football, of course, after the international break. But you see the problems we have in the run-up. Which one of these relegation-threatened sides are going to pull off the unexpected win? And I've got a bit of research to be doing, so I better get to work. I haven't started any of this yet.
This market has been suspended.
A really good coupon for a Tuesday. So it looks like I'm up for a late night tomorrow. Good coupon for a Tuesday. English Premier League, League One as well. Portsmouth top of the league. Derby, I think, second. So that's a automatic promotion clash, that one. Coupe de France, Lyon. A lot of familiar names to this new Lyon side. Ben Rama, I think, is there. So Kaiserslautern, that's the cup. So I'll see whether I can stay up for the Premier League. It's very tough for me to stay up for these timings of matches because you add 6 to that. That's 2:30 a.m. start. And I've had a good 2 weeks of proper sleep, which has been excellent. So I hope to join you tomorrow. Norwegian Eliteserien continues. One of our summer leagues, sorry. Benfica Sporting Lisbon, Derby style match. I wouldn't be playing that one. So I've got a bit of research to be doing for you. So I'll be doing that this evening for the Premier League and the Eredivisie, where we've got PSV got the first loss of the season last match against NEC Nijmegen. Now, that De Jong had scored the penalty to make it 3-2. That would have been a total different story. London Derby tomorrow, so difficult to research that one. New manager for Crystal Palace, difficult to research that one as well. Newcastle at home, well, you saw what they did with West Ham. Very good at home. Nottingham Forest have trouble with that second goal of late. Fulham scoring 3 goals for fun. Got that nice comeback against Sheffield United. Nijmegen beat PSV, so they'll be full of confidence. PSV, I don't expect them to get a second consecutive defeat. So some matches of interest tomorrow. Thanks very much for coming along today. Have a great week. Yeah, thanks very much, Bosun, for your input as well. Great stuff as usual. Thanks, Mark, and thank you everyone else for coming along. And I'll hope to see you tomorrow, but you'll excuse me if I don't turn up for the very, very late ones tomorrow, at least in my part of the world. But I hope I've made up for it with these 3 consecutive live streams. And we'll have more to come if we get some good afternoon kickoffs. So have a great day and rest of your Easter. And I'll see you, if there is anything else, I'll pass on something else just on Telegram for the next hour or two. But in recent days, after these live streams, it tends to be a bit quiet. This is the period, 3 till 5, where